What comes to your mind when you think of water, rain, snow, ice, lolly? Name a few other things which you associate with water. Can you think of a day without water? Think of all the things which you won't be able to do without water. Water is essential for living beings. We use it for our domestic chores like washing, bathing, cooking, cleaning utensils, washing clothes, etc. Role of water in our life. Uses of water. Besides being essential for life, water is useful to us in many other ways. 1. Water is used on daily basis for drinking, bathing and washing. 2. It is also used for cooking and cleaning. 3. It is used in agriculture. Water is required for irrigation of crops, which results in growth of crop plants and production of food grains. 4. Industries use water to make almost everything we use like paper, rayon, petroleum, refineries, fertilizers and chemicals. 5. A large amount of water is used for generating electricity. 6. Water is also a good medium of transport. 7. It is used to generate steam in boilers to run factories. 8. It is used for water sports, recreation. 9. It acts as a medium of seed dispersal and fruit dispersal. 10. It is the reservoir of seafoods, salt and minerals. All animals, including human beings, need water for their body processes like digestion of food, absorption of nutrients, their circulation, getting rid of waste, etc. We take in water through food and drinks and lose it as sweat, urine, or in exhaled air. Water lost as sweat cools our body and therefore maintains our body temperature. Plants also need water for processes like germination, photosynthesis, and transporting minerals from roots to other parts of the plants. Water accounts for a large percentage in fruits and vegetables. Although there is an abundance of water on our planet Earth, but only a very tiny fraction of it is available to us as fresh water fit for drinking. Why water is unique? Water is life-giving. Without water, no living beings can survive. Water is unique because it is very important for the growth and development of all living beings. Many substances in nature exist in more than one physical states, but most substances exist in only one physical state at any given time. What makes water unique is its ability to exist in all three physical states: solid, ice, liquid, gas, steam, simultaneously in nature. Have you seen pictures of icebergs in very cold places like Antarctica? These icebergs, which are solids, float in oceans containing water, and the air present above them carries water vapor. 3 states of water. Some other ways in which water is present in nature in different physical states are solid, liquid, gas. Hailstorm. A hailstorm is very destructive as it damages crops, destroys buildings, and may even kill animals. Fog. When the clouds come in contact with the ground, we call it fog. Fog is formed when water vapor condenses into very tiny liquid water droplets. Mist, when small droplets of water remain suspended in air, we call it mist. You must have seen mist being formed in front of your mouth when you speak in very cold weather. Dew, when water vapor condenses on cold objects, it forms very small water droplets called dew. You must have seen dew drops on grass, flower petals and other objects in winter mornings. Frost, when the temperature is very low, dew takes the form of ice called frost. Different states of water are interconvertible. Ice on melting forms water. Water on evaporation and boiling changes into water vapor. Water vapor condenses to form liquid water, which on freezing turns into solid ice. Evaporation. The change of water into water vapors is called evaporation. Evaporation takes place at all times. You might have seen your mother spreading out clothes to dry in the sun. Will they dry in the same time on a cloudy day? The heat of the sun causes the water of the wet clothes to turn into water vapor. On a cloudy day, the heat of the sun is felt less and thus the clothes take a longer time to dry. If the air is dry, evaporation is faster. When the exposed surface is large, evaporation is faster. High wind speeds also help in evaporation of water. Transpiration. Loss of water from plants in the form of water vapors is called transpiration. A large amount of water is given out from the leaves of plants. Water vapors from transpiration also helps in formation of clouds. Formation of clouds. The heat of the sun evaporates the water from water bodies like oceans, sea, rivers, lakes, etc. and converts it into water vapors. This water vapor combines with dust particles present in the air to form clouds. These clouds are carried from one place to another by wind. When the temperature and pressure conditions are changed, the water vapors of clouds again condense to form water. Precipitation. When the water vapor of clouds condenses and falls down to the earth as rain, it is called precipitation. If precipitation remains in the liquid form till it reaches the earth, we call it rain. If the water drops remain hard while falling, we call it snow. If the size of the solid water particles, ice, is larger, we call it hailstorm, ole. Sources of water. Nature has provided us with many sources of water. Almost 3/4 of the earth is covered with water. Most of this water is salty and cannot be used for drinking or other activities. Water from the seas, oceans, and a few lakes is salty or saline. Have you heard of Dead Sea? Fresh water can be obtained only from water bodies present on land like rivers, lakes, ponds, streams, waterfalls, etc. 90% of fresh water exists in ice caps on mountains and glaciers. Groundwater can also be used for drinking. Rainwater is the purest form of water. Sources of water can also be divided into surface water and groundwater. Groundwater is present a few meters below the surface of the earth. The level of groundwater is called water table. Water columns deep below the earth are generally connected to each other and contain water which has passed through the soil and is free of impurities. Water cycle. When continuously moves from the earth to the atmosphere and from the atmosphere back to the earth again, this circulation of water in nature is called water cycle. Water cycle takes place in 3 steps. A. Water is converted into water vapors by many processes like evaporation, transpiration, etc. B. The water vapor rises up, becomes cooler and condenses to form tiny droplets which float in air as clouds. C. Many droplets come together to form large drops which fall down as rain. Water as a disaster. Water is very important for our survival, but its lack and its excess are both harmful and can turn into disasters. Drought. If in an area the rainfall is not enough over a long period of time, it results in drought. During drought, the soil dries up and cracks develop on it. The land becomes infertile and loss of vegetation takes place. Lack of water leads to the death of many animals. Crops are affected and there is shortage of food and fodder. The level of water in ponds and wells goes down and leads to loss of drinking water and therefore poor health conditions. Aquatic plants and animals die. This affects the ecosystem. Floods. Unusually, heavy rainfalls in an area cause a natural disaster called flood. Floods raise the water level of rivers, lakes, ponds, causing them to overflow their limits. This water spreads in the fields, villages, and cities, sometimes submerging them. Flood water damages the crops, buildings, and dams. It carries away animals and many other objects with it. Potable water and food supply get affected, causing a number of deaths. When the flood water recedes, many diseases and infections spread. Flood water washes the topsoil, reducing the fertility of land. How can we conserve water? Since only a very small part of the water available on earth is useful for living organisms, there is a need to conserve water. There are many ways in which we can conserve water. Avoid wastage of water. Do not keep the tap water running. Plant more trees. Grow plants which require less water. Reduce water pollution. Build more dams. This will prevent both droughts and floods. Harvest rainwater. Rainwater harvesting. Collection of rainwater from surfaces on which rain falls and storing it for future use is called rainwater harvesting. Even less rainfall can enable us to collect a lot of water. Roofs of buildings can be provided with pipes which carry the rainwater to large tanks from where water can be filtered and used. Advantages of rainwater harvesting. It reduces the wastage of water. It helps in storing clean water which can also be directly used for many activities except drinking. It helps to prevent waterlogging of the drains. It can also be used to recharge groundwater and improve the water table.